What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. This time it's not a movie, it is a Netflix docuseries. Now, what is a docuseries? So it's a documentary that's kind of spliced up. Instead of going 8, 9, 10 episodes, it's going only 3 episodes. Now, I saw this recently when Netflix did Don't Fuck with Cats, and that was one that was very, very interesting as well. If you guys have not checked that one out and you have Netflix, make sure you guys check that one out. It's a very intense and dramatic filled documentary. But today I am going to be talking about Killer Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez. Now, before we get into this review, guys, make sure you guys are liking for more content like this. And as always, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification. Now, if you guys weren't aware already, there is going to be some spoilers ahead. This is not fiction. This is based on true events that recently happened in the last 5 years or so. And it has been very well documented on news and on the internet. Now, this is a 3-part docuseries that Netflix put out January 15th, 2020, with each episode about 1 hour. And it focuses on the NFL player Aaron Hernandez, who got picked up in the 4th NFL draft pick by the New England Patriots, and his involvement in a couple of murders. Now, before I go any further, this video is going to be completely unbiased, guys. I'm not choosing which side to believe or what not to believe, just kind of my thoughts after watching this, because it did take us a couple of days. I know a lot of you guys like to binge watch these shows. I got a lot going on in my life, so it took me about 3 days to catch up on these 3 episodes, and I'm gonna let you guys know my honest opinion. Now, first and foremost, the one thing that I did notice was this was the same producers from Making a Murder, a fantastic docuseries as well on Netflix that I believe came out a couple of years ago, and it was an amazing turn of events. Very, very thrilling. Check that one out on Netflix if you guys are into crime drama as well. And that's kind of how I knew that this was going to be a well put together documentary. Now, in the first episode, we get to focus on young Aaron Hernandez growing up in Bristol, Connecticut, and kind of his upbringing. And his father also pushed his children to going into sports, whether that be basketball, track, or in this case, football. The one sport that really elevated Aaron Hernandez's career from a very, very young age up until his death. Now, this docuseries also talks about Aaron Hernandez's father, who was also a semi-pro, I believe. I don't think he was in the NFL, but I believe he was a semi-pro football player. So he was also a star in Bristol, Connecticut. So, you know, word was buzzing about him always throughout town. And Aaron Hernandez and his brother DJ really looked up to his father. They loved him so much. Unfortunately, during surgery, his father did pass away when Aaron Hernandez was in high school. So once this happened, his life shifted. So much traumatic events during that time, and it was shocking to see that Aaron Hernandez's mom moved on so quickly. Just 2 months after her husband's passing, she moves on to another relationship, and this is where it gets even more thrilling. Is the man that she gets involved with is her sister's husband. So a lot of dramatic soap opera type of things are going on in the real life of Aaron Hernandez, and this really kind of throws Aaron for a spiral. He then proceeds to move to his aunt's house, who he really loved dearly as a mother figure. But this is where his life became more dark and more grim, more into the criminal activity, because his aunt was hanging out with shady, shisty characters who were in and out of jail. So he wasn't around the best crowd, and this kind of led into his life of crime before he got picked up in the NFL. Next, we get to see Aaron Hernandez picked up by the Florida Gators. So he spent some of his years there, I believe just age 17. So he was already immersed in the Florida lifestyle at such a young age with these adult men. So they're kind of taking him out partying, and he was, you know, drinking and clubbing it at age 17. So he got introduced to that whole life at such a young age, and I believe it really influenced him to just kind of get immersed more into that life, as well as becoming somewhat of a football celebrity at the time. This was kind of like the first introductions of what this rock star life was going to be for him. So he really took advantage of it and just kind of pushed through everything and showed that he could be a real, true NFL player. Years later, we get to see him picked up by the New England Patriots, and this is where a lot of the allegations of murder circulate around that time of him being picked up by the Patriots. So it was stated that a month before he got signed to a $40 million 5-year contract by the New England Patriots, he murdered two men, and they do go into that, and it's really, really sad to see. They show the family of the two men who were slain, and it's just really, really heartbreaking to see them have to go through all of that, as these murders weren't even solved until years later. So we'll get back to those two murders in a second. Now fast forward to 2013, and the big case that broke, which led police to put Aaron Hernandez under a microscope, was the murder of his own friend Odin Lloyd, who was also dating his fiance's sister. I know, once again, soap opera drama. Now in this case, all the evidence really pointed to Aaron Hernandez being the killer, which ended up getting him prosecuted and sent away for life. Now after spending some time in jail, the case from like 5 years prior opened up with more evidence pointing to Aaron Hernandez, which led to another case opening, which he actually ended up beating. So it was incredible to see a lot of the evidence kind of piling up over the years that all pointed to Aaron Hernandez. And what makes this even more remarkable is that he played a whole football season after murdering guys months previous. Now after the second court case was dropped, things were looking up in his favor. Even on his face, it looked like he was as happy as can be. Days later, they found Aaron Hernandez hung in his cell with everybody baffled, his fiance and his lawyer included. Now I'm not here to speculate why he killed himself, but the family of Aaron Hernandez came together to have his brain scanned for CTE, which is a condition that a lot of NFL players go through once they're kind of knocked around, and a lot of concussions are delivered to the brain. A lot of them, after being diagnosed with CTE, led them to being depressed and have very drastic mood swings, which was very apparent in Aaron Hernandez's case. So it's a very, very sad story to see just the people that were involved in the killings, as well as this condition that he possibly could have had. They also do show his brain that he was in fact diagnosed with CTE long after the fact, and maybe if they would have caught this earlier, or if he would have dealt with a therapist. I will say that I believe that he was holding on to a lot of resentment, you know, just from his mother and just a lot of things that were going on around his dad passing away at such a young age, and it probably was pent up inside, and he probably let it out in a wrong way. So I will just say that if you are going through problems like this, you guys should really seek help, and it really does help to talk to people. So that being said, guys, this is a very good watch. I'm not going to give it a rating. I don't feel comfortable giving ratings to docuseries that deal with dark nature stuff like this, but I will say if you guys are into crime and drama, definitely check out this one. Once again, it's called Killer Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez, and he did tragically pass away at such a young age, and he had his whole life ahead of him. So anyways, guys, what did you think of this Netflix original docuseries? If you guys have seen it, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys did appreciate my thoughts, please give me a thumbs up. It always helps me out. And if you guys do like content like this, please make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification for more content like this. Till next time, guys, I'm gone. Peace.